Now in second phase I'll start from the structure of urban heat island. Actually there are three main urban volume layers that holds the climate interactions, which are it is designed or by OK 1976. These three layers are three main urban volumes are, you see that one is urban canopy layer. It is that is actually it creates UCL. It is a canopy layer, and it creates a microclimate. First it creates a microclimate, and second one is urban boundary layer, that is UBL, urban boundary layer, and that has a inertial, and the between urban boundary layer and urban canopy layer there is an inertial surface roughness sublayer. So these three layers are here. You see the on the left, it is just sketch of urban areas, and the solar radiation it reflected on the urban buildings or pavements, and these materials, it absorbs these solar radiation, and it is transmitted through it, and the total urban buildings get heated because it absorbs a large part. Actually that's why transmission of actual solar heat, it gains the temperature. Gradually the urban structure gains the temperature. Some part, a little part, it goes back due to reflection, and other part is emission. So it depends on the material, which materials the buildings is made of. There are some materials which reflected back. If the rooftop is white colored, the reflection is high. But if it is black color, rooftop is black colored, it absorbed more. So the reflection, emission, it depends on materials. Not only that, the pavement area or the road area, those are of black color. So if the roads, the asphalt, it absorbs so much heat that it sometimes it becomes viscous, it becomes soft, and so today's sometimes they are colored in some part like light green, light blue or white to make the reflections more. And on the not only that, the pavements are in many places it makes of such blocks which are of very light color, because on the light color their reflection is high. So there are three layers: urban boundary layer, inertial surface roughness sublayer, and urban canopy layer. Actually there are many heights, and heights are of different. So there is a circulation at micro level, microclimate created here. Here the temperature is very high, and from the microclimate it goes up to macro, because the temperature releases and the urban above the boundary urban boundary layer, and when it there are many cities or towns it covers a large area, the total temperature or the total climate of that urban areas, it causes a great change at the macro level also. So what are the features of urban heat island? Urban heat island is an urban area or metropolitan area. This is the definition of urban heat island, that it is an urban area or metropolitan area that is significantly warmer than its surroundings. So the urban area which is significantly warmer than its surroundings, rural areas, due to human activities. What are the features of urban heat island? The temperature difference, because the surrounding rural areas are comparatively cool or cooler than the urban or city areas, and the temperature difference is larger at night than during the day and is most apparent when winds are weak. So the temperature it becomes a sinkhole of the sink of high temperature. Urban heat island is most noticeable during summer and winter both. Most monthly rainfall is greater on the downwind winds of the cities. Increase in heat within the urban centers, because in the central part where there are many buildings and very close, they are very closely laying of the buildings from building. City center is there are many buildings which are very close to each other, so there is the increase in temperature, and sometimes there is a occurrence of weak cyclone due to high temperature. Only that weak cyclone occurs in the city areas, and urban heat island decreases air quality. These are the features, because the difference in temperature within than the surrounding areas. Temperature during summer and winter, urban heat island is most noticeable. Monthly there are sometimes occurrence of weak cyclone and pollution, decreasing air quality, and also the production of pollutants such as ozone and decrease of water quality, as the water also get warmer in the cities areas, and it flows, the comparatively warmer water causes the deterioration of the ecosystem. So heat island characteristics depend strongly on the background climate of the area in which the city is located. Sometimes those cities which are located in the temperate region and a city located in the tropical region, or a city very near to forest, or a city very near to ocean, or a city located in the central part away from the ocean or away from the forest. So the climatic condition, background climatic condition is already different, and the human activities results difference in urban heat island formation features. What are the causes of the formation? I have already mentioned that the modification of land surface or the land use changes actually results the urban heat island. Waste heat, I already mentioned about the waste heat. It is a secondary contributor, and population centers, as it expands its areas, and resulting deforestation. It is also the causes of the modification of the land surface, and ultimately results in the formation of urban heat island. So next one is the dark surface, that the asphalt, the materials which absorb more temperature, it becomes a storehouse of temperature. Materials which are commonly used in urban areas, it is for pavement, roofs, concrete, asphalts. These are all the thermal different thermal properties, and it becomes a thermal bank, a temperature heat bank of these areas. So heat capacity and thermal conductivity is very high of some materials. Tall buildings, it results micro circulation among themselves and reflection from the buildings, absorption of the sunlight, increasing efficiency. It causes, all these causes the urban areas get heated and heated. This is called urban canyon effect. Urban canyon effect. Next one, is that then we discuss about the features, then causes, and next consequences. What are the consequences of the urban heat island? Actually, the consequences is because the consequences of this urban heat island is the mainly the increase of temperature. It has an impact on health. It increases the air pollution. It causes the thermal stress and also degraded the living environment. These are the consequences of the heat stress or heat island. So we discuss about the causes and consequences. Causes are mainly urbanization, urban sprawl and increasing population. And next one, I already mentioned different points about the quality of manufactured material, and increase in means needs of more machineries, like if refrigerator are on that. And next one is the causes, the pavement structure or road structure, asphalt, concrete, etc. These are the causes. And again and the thermal properties of the asphalt and the concrete, color of the building, and the structure of the city. So these are all the causes. So I must go to these diagram. This is a diagram. Look at this diagram. This is there is a circulation within buildings. This is a building and another building. In this gap, the heat which is released from these two buildings and is circulated, and sometimes it makes a circulation within this building. This is the rural areas. It goes up and it goes flow away, but between two tall buildings there is a circulation of this building, and it is a radiant heat exchange in between the human and canyon surface, and in between canyon surface itself, convective heat exchanges between canyon surface. This is the energy consumption, solar radiation, energy consumption, turbulent heat. This is the turbulent heat. So within the building, tall building, there is a circulation of the hot air. It creates it becomes a heat sink. All these hot air, fresh air from the mountain, but here when if it is on the side of the mountain, the wind blows downwards and it get compressed and the temperature increased, so it becomes heat sink, and here the temperature increase because of the turbulent heat transfer from the ground and from the buildings. So these are the urban cool spot, heat sink. Under the heat sink, it causes the heat sink underground. It absorbs heats, and urban cool spot. Heat exchange in between urban component. Just you see that this is a tall building. So among the tall building, the air circulated in this way, and it becomes trapped. The temperature, the heat trapped in this building, so all buildings remains very hot. So it occurs where there are many tall buildings. But if the temperature buildings are very low height, there are many trees. Depends on the trees. Depends on the trees. The temperature rise or depend on the height of the building or the building, the spacing of the building, the gap between two buildings. If it is gap is very small, then there is the formation of heat sink. So the heat stress, it causes the heat stress. Again I go to the next previous slide, how it is calculated. The study dealt with a street located in Vancouver, north south oriented, with an aspect ratio, height and width, and H1 here building and H2. So it is the net all wave radiation of both walls and floor were explained, how much the temperature absorbed by wall, because there is a exposure of the wall to the insolation or the solar radiation, and about the floor it gets reflected heat from the rooftop, and walls directly get heat from the solar radiation. So walls also reflected heat to the floor. So floor and rooftop, walls, so these are explained as sensible heat flux. Sometimes we see that inside the room the temperature is very high, so the latent heat flux energy stored in the materials, and it is also calculated as wall, what is the wall height and materials, and floor height and reflection from the roof and other materials, and it can be calculated that how the temperature and what amount of temperature or the heat is absorbed in this island. So these are the means convective heat exchange, radiant heat exchange, and heat generation within the homogeneous pattern, and up and down airflow within these three levels of urban spatial layer are calculated for the formation of the microclimate in the city region. There is a formation due to the microclimate in this city region, which I already mentioned. There are sometimes weak cyclone also occurs due to this microclimate. Next one I must mention, it is that heat stress is the direct consequence. People are suffering from the heat waves and vulnerability, serious health issues, and these are the formula where you can calculate the convective heat exchange or the convective heat transfer or conductive heat exchange or exchange. So these are the Hc by T, where C is a convective heat transfer, Hc number of people in a group. If the more people live in a building, the building becomes more it gets more warmer, it gets warmer than the people where than the building where people less number of people lived. So this is the mitigation. We should discuss about the mitigation measures, because we know that people most of the people, they are moving towards cities, and most of the people, they want to live in the cities, and so the people are who lives in the cities, the more buildings will be are constructed and less vegetation. So the mitigation measures, it is needed in the city design. In the city design, there should be some urban forest, there should and the building should have solar panel. They can use the solar energy instead of thermal energy, and light surfaces that results high albedo, and there are many design where the buildings, in the front of the buildings, there is an extended part where different types of plants actually plants are not only for decoration, they are planted. Trees are planted, small trees which absorb heat and release moisture. It results or it keeps the building cool. So you see here that there is a rooftop vegetation. So the vegetation absorb heat and that directly heat cannot goes to the or the building, and there are the trees in the front of the building which minimizes the temperature absorption, and energy efficient solar panel, indoor ventilation and sun shading over the top, light surface and high albedo, process and building materials which are very absorption of heat is less, green space, trees and water surface, easy public transport access, so that air corridor, and that color may be changed for reflections. So these are the measures of the mitigation measures, that is called cool pavement of light color, and the reflective pavement, reflective top, reflective roads, and these can be constructed for keeping the city cool, and for more water bodies for evaporation and moisture retaining capacities, which increases the moisture retaining capacities of the cities, and permeable pavement, because if it is permeable, rainwater can means rainwater or soil can get the rainwater through the permeable pavement, and so the percolation of the water is possible in the permeable pavement, and also the porous pavement. So these all results the cooling of the soil surface, and so the heat is less reflected or less radiated, radiation will be less, water bodies may have a shade, so that directly water cannot get heat, and the urban canyon is maintained the heat making of the urban heat lesser, making the environment while the environment is greener, and while the rooftop and other parts there are many trees, and there is a good circulation of wind due to more gaps between buildings, so the temperature also reflected back, or it is comfortable, it will be comfortable in such cases. And depending on the design, nowadays the cities are designed in such manners that in a complex, in a complex of any building complex, there are 25% concrete area and 75% open area. Open area means playground or water bodies or different kinds of trees. So it helps to circulate the air in air, and so the temperature can be released from the ground to the upper air layer. So and it cannot, the actual result is that heat will not be trapped within that within the buildings, and it will be healthier. So these are the mitigations, and I again mention the points. What is urban heat island? What are the causes of urban heat island? What are the features of urban heat island? What are the causes and consequences of urban heat island? What are the means how can urban heat island measures, and what is the vulnerability of urban heat island? What is the stress of urban heat island? How it is transferred from one layer to other layer, like urban boundary layer, how the microclimate is changed, and the scenario of the climate change, total climatic change, so and health effect, and lastly mitigation. So these are all about the urban heat island. Thank you very much.